Hi, I'm Mark Caesar along with Ed Clements and Sergeant Sam. Welcome to our weekly vodcast here in Campaign '08 at 590klbj.com. You're one of the privileged few to be able to see this right now. You're in rarefied company because this will immediately be sent to Cannes, France for the Cannes Film Festival, and it's sure to take center stage, even dethroning Angelina and the news of her twins.
Well, Sean Penn is the guy, a personal friend of Sam Cox. Sean Penn, who's done some movies in Austin. He's chairman of the board of the Cannes Film Festival. So listen up. This ought to be good.
Yes, it will be good. It's going to be an award winner at the Cannes Film Festival. Or, Sam, is it Cannes? Is it Cannes? Cannes or Cannes?
Tomato.
The big news on the campaign this week first started in West Virginia, where Hillary absolutely crushed Barack Obama by about 40 points. And yet, everybody kept saying all week long, what's wrong with her? Why is this wicked witch staying in the race? Why won't she quit and hand it over to Barack Obama?
It's got to be a very embarrassing situation in West Virginia. He, I believe, will be the nominee to get killed like that in the hillbilly state of West Virginia. It's not going to bode well for him in November. She continues to stay in. He continues to stay to say, I've got the delegates, get out. But I still believe she's not going to get out until Denver, or possibly days before Denver, or until she's convinced by the party bigwigs that she's got to go.
Elaborate on your point that crushing defeat in West Virginia means trouble in November.
Well, it means trouble because she got a tremendous amount of the white vote. She got a tremendous amount of the blue-collar vote. She dominated him in the undereducated in West Virginia, and I think that is an area where he's got to work on. He's got to get more white people to vote for him, more blue-collar people to vote for him, too. That exposed some of his weak areas.
I know you were looking at some of the exit polls from West Virginia. You saw trouble for Barack Obama in November as well.
Oh, absolutely. And, and I disagree with you, Ed. Everybody in West Virginia is not hillbillies. And that's the problem that Barack's going to have, is there are people there that I consider think for themselves, whether you're educated or uneducated, and you're not going to be able to stand up and say, I'm for change. Well, just for change's sake. You've got to say something more. You've got to say exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and come forward with it, because if you don't, people are going to get tired of just that old deal, I'm for change.
Well, what in particular in those exit polls did you see that was the most trouble for Barack Obama? Was it the nearly 50% who said they wouldn't vote for him in the fall?
Yeah, that they would go to McCain.
It's on either side. If Barack doesn't get elected, then his voting staff or constituency is just dead set against voting for Hillary. If Hillary doesn't get elected, then her constituency is dead set against voting for Barack.
And I think that's a good point.
That's a huge headache that the convention has when they come to terms with it.
Right.
Is either candidate electable?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's an ongoing problem. The longer she stays in, the more polarized the two parties get. The two parties meaning Barack and Hillary.
Speaking of crushing defeats, there was another one this week in Mississippi in a special congressional election where the Republican lost by 8 points. This is a district in Mississippi that is solidly conservative. Bush won it by 62% in '04. It's been represented by a conservative in Congress for many, many years. This is another big blow to the Republicans. That's 3 in a row in these special U.S. House elections that they have lost in recent months. The next day, the Republicans in the U.S. House had a closed-door meeting, a very angry meeting. They're trying to figure out what's wrong. Why are we in such trouble? And the three of us know why they're in trouble, but they're totally clueless. At any rate, they came out of the meeting and they said, all right, we're going to hitch ourselves to John McCain. We're going to try to ride his coattails to re-election in November. He's the guy we've got to get behind, John McCain. He's going to save Republicans.
How is he going to save Republicans? He's liberal. When you really get right, don't call him moderate. He is liberal. He's a maverick. And I have a real super problem in the fact that the Republican machinery still doesn't get it. The uneducated people out there are still trying to educate them. And the fact of the matter, they've gotten totally away from their base, and their base is rebelling by up yours, brother.
That's
exactly what is happening.
And I think we're going to see a lot of anti-George Bush votes. I think this was an anti-George Bush vote, not necessarily an anti-Congress, because the Democrats are not dominating Congress now. I think people are viewing this as, boy, the Republicans have been at top of the things for 8 years. Let's try another route.
The approval rating of Congress is lower than Bush's.
Yeah.
It's at 11% right now.
Is that an all-time low?
Yes, it is.
I think that's an all-time low. People have lost faith in our government because special interests. And you just look at the Farm Bill, special interest.
Yeah.
You look at ethanol, special interest. All of it is not about what's good for us. It's all about how we can nail the taxpayer.
Yeah.
Sam, I agree with you. I think the Republicans need to get back to their conservative principles, but they're not doing it. We had 2 more votes this week. The Farm Bill and the bill ordering the president to stop filling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, where most of the Republicans voted with the Democrats. Not the way a conservative would vote.
Exactly. They've gotten totally away from the base. I am a conservative, and I'm so angry I could spit. Why aren't they talking to their base? They get into their own little world, they have their own little caucus, and they come out, well, we're going to get behind McCain. Everybody's ticked because McCain's the one that's running.
Yeah, they were all angry that he was going to get the nomination.
Yeah, and
now they're
going
to hitch their fate to John McCain.
Well, that's the only thing they've got. But boy, I tell you what, it is a dismal failure anytime we elect as a conservative group someone like McCain, old and moderate.
Right. I told
He's
you he was moderate.
old and moderate. You're supposed to be old and conservative.
Also, John Edwards gave his endorsement to Barack Obama this week. I'm not sure that has a lot of political muscle anymore. John Edwards thinks it does.
He couldn't even carry his own state, for crying out loud.
Not that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal anymore. John Edwards is positioning himself for a cabinet position. He could be a vice presidential nominee. I don't think so,
God
but
forbid.
he wants to be in the administration, as does Bill Richardson, who's maybe the vice presidential nominee.
Thanks very much for checking out our vodcast here on 590klbj.com. And be sure to check back next week for another edition in Campaign 08. And be sure to join us on the radio every weekday morning, 5:30 to 10, with Mark Ed and Sergeant Sam on KLBJ.